Just at the start of quarantine, I bought two project bikes, a Vulcan 500 Cruiser and this Honda Trail 90. If you haven't seen the intro video, be sure to check it out because I go over both the bikes, how I got them, and I show where they started. But today we're going to tear into the Trail 90. While I do intend on cleaning it up, my first priority is to see if it'll even run before I sink a lot of work into its appearance. Alright, it's finally time to start working on this Trail 90. I got some parts in, mainly this carburetor and a new throttle cable, so I'm going to work on that today. Hopefully we'll be able to see if it runs. So we kind of already just very loosely went through all of the electronics. You can see I threw a battery on there. I think I should make a checklist. Over here at the Wall of Shame, if you've seen the Vulcan project, you'll know what this is from, but for now, this is just going to be our drawing board. So, okay, I think that's about as much as I want to add, because if I keep thinking, this is going to be a never-ending list. We need to mount the coil, make sure there's oil in it, attach the spark plug boot, make sure the stator is connected. Right now, it's not. There's a plug there that I need to get a connector for. And then I need to mount the carb and throw the throttle cable on it. So first up on my list is this coil. I think everything is wired correctly. My curious self saw this electrical tape here, and I just had to know what was under it. Sure enough, destroyed wire. So, oh, it gets worse. That's bad. Do you think SpongeBob got along with Karen well? Because even though she helped Plankton, she was super nice. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
I haven't watched SpongeBob
Did
in a while.
anybody else ever meet Karen?
SpongeBob's met Karen. SpongeBob's been in the chum bucket on various occasions. It's pretty much together now. Not my proudest work, but not too bad either. I think it's a lot better than what was there before. What is you getting stuck on? You ever just think, man, my hand smells weird? No? I've never actually had to deal with these, and this is pretty neat. It just screws in. So I could chop this down to get myself some clean wire, but I don't really want to do that because I'm afraid I'll make it too short. So I'm just going to throw this on as is. I think I'm making this thing go fairly deep, which is probably good. It doesn't seem to want to go any further. Alright, the Wall of Shame. Mount the coil. We've done that. Haven't checked for oil, but I know it's leaking out, which means there's some oil in there, or there was at some point in the past 50 years. Attach the plug boot. We got that. Stator connector, that's done. And all that's left is to mount the carb and check for the oil. I'll put check for spark too. This carb, if you put it here, it's kind of hitting all these cables. And I'm wondering if I can just turn this intake around. So I'm going to investigate that. In the meantime, I've got to do throttle cable replacement. This one could work, but the carburetor came with a new one, so I may as well just put a new cable on it. Trail 90s are so weird. They have, like, how many bikes do you know that have the throttle cable running through the handlebar? That's just such a quirky thing. There it goes. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Ugh. Can you believe that this thing in my hand is 50 years old and it's like a motorcycle grip? The ones on my 2008 are destroyed and they're not even the original. They're basically rocks. But rocks don't break. And that's kind of the mindset of the Trail 90. Yeah, it does drive like a brick, but bricks last. It's like it was made for this. Seriously. I think that's good enough. I just want it to not be like seized. So while that stuff's cleaning, I'm gonna work on the carb and mounting it. I don't actually have these bolts here. The carb did not come with bolts here. Oh, and a side note, this wonderful Chinese carb came with a fuel valve on it that broke off instantly. So that's kind of cool. In the meantime, I do need bolts, so check my stash. Alright, so I found a couple nice shiny bolts here that'll work perfectly. And now I've got to decide whether I want to mount this forward or turn it around. I think that's doable.
Does it matter much if the carb is not level when you're on level ground?
Yeah, it actually does.
That's pretty significantly tilted.
I don't like that. Okay, you make a good point. We gotta put it the other way.
Bummer.
Well, at least I got to see into the engine. Alright, I think these parts are nice and clean, and I've got them back on, I think, the right way. I don't know, I've never ever seen a throttle like that. But we're gonna try throwing it back together. Okay, it's working. Mm-hmm. I like my comparison of comparing this thing to a rock, a brick.
Mm-hmm.
Has as much power as a brick. Has about as much technology as a brick. And you know what? It has about as much reliability as a brick. So, if you like bricks, the Trail 90 is for you, I think. I'm just guessing. And I'm buying a bike and working on it, totally guessing that it's just gonna magically work, because that would be convenient for me. Maybe I should reevaluate these things. They sound a little stupid when I actually say them. Thing, which is that way. Booyah! Not a single light comes on, so how do we even know if it has power? Well, we just play the menacing horn sound. That'll show them. Get out of my way, Grandma. Well, with electrical power running through the bike and everything hooked up, it was finally time to check it for spark. So I found a spark plug wrench. Let's see if it works. Oh. That's not the wrong wrench. It's that loose.
It's that loose.
Alright, let's see what we can learn by looking at this spark plug. Alright, so from looking at this, we can tell it is a spark plug. That's about all I got. No, it looks alright. It doesn't look burnt or anything. There is a little bit of rust on it, which does worry me. Maybe some water got into the combustion chamber. Like, I know I bought this bike without a carb, so I know that some stuff could have seeped in there. I hope not, but it's possible. Got a new one right here. I want to see if we have spark. I don't see spark.
I don't either.
I'm pretty sure we would have seen spark. I determined that the coil was bad and ordered a new one, but that meant I was left at home to do stuff like this while I waited. Yeah, so I decided to take off the exhaust pipe so that I could get some, better access, and it decided to take itself apart for me. This is a lot worse than I originally thought. Alright, well, a few weeks have actually passed by now, but I have goodies. I've got, not only do I have a coil, but I also have this thing that I totally forgot what it's called. I think this is a condenser, and hopefully these things will get us spark. Batteries in place, new coil and condenser. Ran the spark plug wire. put a spark plug on it, and clamped the spark plug down to the side of the cylinder, so hopefully we'll be able to see if it gets spark, and fingers crossed we'll actually get spark. So there was no spark, but I think the coil is wired right. We know the battery has power because the horn. So what could it be?
Could be the points.
So I pulled off the cover to check the points, and sure enough, using a multimeter showed that there wasn't continuity between the points. Well, I used a little bit of sandpaper in between them, and that actually fixed it. Alright. That's good news. That's spark right there, baby. Spark. Spark.
Saw it.
Yeah. Alright, so that concludes part 1 of the Trail 90 build. We now have spark, and hopefully next time we'll be able to see if this thing even runs. If you liked the video, please be sure to hit like and consider subscribing. It really helps me out, and it'll let you stay up to date with these projects. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.